I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now, calling the meeting to order time, and then, of course, owner's comments. Let's start with Leslie.
All right, so
Come on up to the mic, Leslie.
my voice usually carries quite well.
All
It's about the dog park. There's a number of people over there that are a little confused and a little frustrated. And so I want to put the questions out there for you to discuss and then let people at the dog park know. We were not informed that our money that we had been collecting for the past 9 years, and yes, I can date it exactly when the park was up, and probably none of you lived there at that time. You don't think so? Okay, great. Anyway, a bunch of money has been taken out of that account and put into Parks and Recs. And we don't see it that way. We see it as money that we could be using to replace grass, rocks, drinking fountains, failing, fire hydrants that have both been broken now for over 3 years. We would love to have some shade, what are they called, sails or something to that effect, put on the small dog side. Because if you will look at past histories of that area, when it was being developed, a lot of white stone was put right behind where the library is today. And that white stone gets very, very hot in the summertime, even though they put probably about 8 inches, maybe 12 inches of soil down and then laid grass down. And it is still way too hot for the small dog side. And it's very unpleasant on their side. And they don't have enough shade over on that side, even though some of the trees have started to grow, sort of. But on the big dog side, they put in, thank you very much, appreciate Sandbox. It has helped eliminate a large problem, but it is still causing problems with the large size because 2 of the drinking fountains don't work. So what we're doing to compensate is by filling up jugs of water, carrying them over into the shade area and pouring them little bit by little bit into little metal containers that they can drink out. But within minutes, it's all mud and has to be rinsed out and then refilled, which is a problem. And people have been asking, like, where's the money that we've been supplying? Because at one time, if you'd like me to pull my records, because I have every note from every dog park, because I was one of the people that came to the committee in the very beginning and said, we need to have some rules and regulations, which we did not have. Okay, so we formed a dog park committee, and that committee, we met once a week for 3 hours and hashed out everything. And then we turned it over to the lawyer so that he could make it work with the laws of the state and the county.
Okay, and Leslie, that's time. Thank you so much.
2017 is when it started.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
That's it.
That's it. 3 minutes.
Robert, you need to sign in. They got it.
See. First, we're gonna do Chip. Oh, Robert, do you want to go ahead? Then I'll get to things. Got 3 minutes.
I'll be quick. Robert saying 516 Long Meadow. I just wanted to bring down photographs the board to see the condition of the dog park tonight. Residents have spent 2 hours tonight blowing all the leaves. We've asked and asked and asked. We saw Danny last night. It's not done on a Monday. I've downloaded a copy, or Lauren's office sent me a copy of the contract that you guys have got with Exquisite. I know for everybody that the maintenance of the dog park we pay Exquisite $599,000 a year to maintain the 2 dog parks. So in the contract it says every week they will, you're shaking head, Charles. Every week it says in here that they will suck the leaves up.
599,000 is wrong, but keep going.
Sorry,
$599,000 is wrong, but keep going.
oh, okay, okay.
No,
I'll
that's
show
all.
you the thing.
But people, sorry.
It says in here that every week that they will vacuum the leaves up, or blow the leaves, clear them. They haven't done that in over 6 months. We've all been really concerned about snakes down there. I know Town Hall requested someone to come down. There was a 5-foot long snake in the leaves. They sent someone down, they saw it, it was photographed, but still the leaves didn't get taken away. And then we moved to the question of the grass, which I know when I was here, not last month, but the month before, board signed off on having the grass patch. It's still not been done. But to be honest with you, I think that's a waste of money unless you guys can sort out the irrigation system. So I've spoken to everybody that goes there in the evening between 4 and 6. And if you want us to get a petition together, we propose that some of the 18,000 is spent on a new timer that can be managed from Town Hall, so that the irrigation can be switched on when it's dry and there's no rain, and it can be switched off when there's a lot of rain, and we just manage the grass. And the other point would be is we really do encourage you to keep the dog park committee, even if it's virtual, for once a month, for half an hour, so that we can get the maintenance. Otherwise, you guys are going to have to find the budget again to replace the grass, because you can't expect residents to replace the grass outside their houses when grass is not done in the dog park.
All right, so thank you very much.
Thanks.
Next up, James.
293 Celebration Boulevard. My only complaint is my tenants.
Oh, yeah,
All right, first good news on Homestead.
nice blue hands.
Yeah. As year to date, we are at 121 homes sold, earning 530,000 in capital fees. Which is 82,000 already higher than the first 4 months of 2025, and we still got a week to go for sales. Second, as you know, with 851 nearing completion, both capital reserve funds are going to get lower than they have been in a long time. Assuming you approve the reserve spending today, that will total 811,500 so far this year. Leaving another 588,000 for 2026 if we can stay at the budget of 1.4 million funding level. Third, a subject which is not a universal one and probably not interested to people here, but when the Island Village Fitness Center opened in 2023, it was not widely used. Things have changed tremendously since then. As I stated in the past, virtually no one reads the rules. Personal trainers still use it. The kids do not clean off the equipment after use, which is a safety and equipment issue. In the last 3 months, I've told over 20 kids that if Parks and Rec came in, we kick them out because they're not wearing sneakers. All 20 plus of them have thanked me for giving them the guidance. So that's been good. As the Parks and Rec personnel are always busy, maybe they should consider letting a few volunteers in Island Village who go to the fitness center represent and advise users of the facility to follow rules, primarily including the personal trainers and just kids who don't clean the equipment. Last thing, we have our scheduled for our 8th Island Village Neighbors Get Together We're gonna do it at the Island Village Pool since the rec committee denied our use of community room. Ironically, last I knew, no one is renting a room that day. I had offered to pay $100 for the room, but that's the way it goes. We have over 100 homes with new neighbors since the beginning of 2025 in our village. 70 of which are phase two. So it could be a big gap. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Thank you. And now, moving along, let's get a motion to adopt the agenda. So. And second, all those in favor? Anybody opposed? Citizens?
Oh, I was just gonna see if we could,
Get them on?
yeah, just put D, E, C, D, and E in action items.
E, D, and D in action, okay?
So they all relate to
The parts.
can we just bracket them together into one jumbo motion?
C, D, and E together.
Just as a C plus, whatever.
Yeah.
That's all,
Is everybody okay with that?
No.
Not opposed? Okay. Let's see, we'll move on then. Let's go to the community standards and the park appeal. We've got, a consensus on these spots.
I'll make the motion over.
Okay, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? How about, motion to approve the minutes from the board meeting and the workshop?
Motion.
Marco? Charles? Any discussion or changes? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? March financials. But that's right. I read.
Good afternoon, everybody. For the month of March, we ended up with a deficit of $21,000. On the revenue side, excluding the capital resales, revenues are pretty much flat against budget. On the expense side, we had a combined overage of $28,000, mainly coming from higher water costs due to the current drought conditions. We have several pool repairs at Lakeside, Spring Lake, and North Village. And we also had overages in compensation and admin costs. Even though we had these overages, we also had some lines with savings or helping offset portion of these overages. These savings are mainly coming from general events, parks and recs, and also IT costs. Moving on to the year to date, we're currently sitting at an $11,000 surplus. Revenues were doing pretty good. Thank you to the capital resource, as Jim was mentioned earlier. On the expense side, while we are presenting or we're showing overages in pool repairs, compensation, and admin costs, these overages are being fully offset by savings from landscaping, repairs and maintenance, safety and security, communications, and professional fees. And lastly, the fund balances as of March 31st are going to be $302,000 on the operating fund, $754,000 on the reserve fund, and $2.7 million on the capital fund.
Any questions? All right, approve the financials, motion? Second. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Committee and partner updates. Anybody want to start us off?
Service areas have been great. It's been, so we've got our quarterly meetings, I think, coming up soon. So that's the main thing right now. So just a reminder here. A reminder, if you're in the service areas, please consider. I actually don't know the committees, but I think it's going really well. Alex and team to lose. Great job. That's a good thing. It's great done.
Technology, anybody else? Is there anything? Parks, right? Specials?
It's all right. We didn't have a meeting yet since the last update. But for the lifestyle, we have a great egg hunt on Saturday. But it's 30,000 candies all around the CCMC. It was really amazing. We had a blast. I heard it's one of the biggest since we did the egg hunt.
How long did it take to get rid of 30,000?
How long did it take to get stopped? A lot. There's a lot of bookings over there. I booked you myself since the sunset over there. It was really cool for the kids. Very excited, very organized, and the best part, just 1 hour after we finished the event, the breakdown was 100%. Not even one paper on the field. It was pretty good.
And I see we don't have any partners here, any other
Communications. Communications, we don't have any communication.
we're not communicating well.
We're not communicating. We haven't met yet. We had a meeting last time, and Kathleen sent her our groups for foundation. She unable to attend, was getting out money tonight. She's giving us some shifts, which is nice. She asked me to read this.
Yeah, cool, right.
My apologies for my absence from the last two meetings. Tonight is the Education Foundation Scholarship Award Ceremony. Celebration Foundation is awarding 30 students $1,000 each. Also honoring former Congresswoman Patricia Schroeder for the student receiving $1,000 scholarship as well. When I read the personal essays of each scholarship applicant, it's heartwarming to know that our youth are volunteering for many incredible organizations in our community. The foundation had a health celebration, Give Kids the World Women's Club, Rotary Public Celebration, College Celebration Marathon, and Half Marathon. Purpose Christi Church as an altar server in Vacation Bible School Community Presbyterian Church. These students are changing our community landscape and most certainly will change the world wherever they land after high school. Exceptional students, each and every one. This Saturday will be the annual shredding event at Lakeside. Spots are still available to register online with on-site shredding. Following the concert at 7 p.m. at Community Presbyterian Church, that the foundation and CROA invited all CROA volunteers to attend as a thank you for being a volunteer in our community. It's Volunteer Appreciation Month, and we appreciate the gift of time, talent, and treasure that is supported to our community. Monthly Traditions was held this past Saturday. Free registration every month to attend and hear how celebration became celebration. Our speaker this past Saturday was Jeffrey Moman, followed by a walking tour. It was an incredible way to connect with the history of celebration and our neighbors. There are tickets still available for a hats off to the Derby on May 2nd in Arlington Park. Be transported to Church Hill Downs and spend an early evening with friends at the foundation playing Derby themed games all inside the ship. This is the signature gala and spring fundraiser for the foundation, so consider joining us to bid on unique live auction experiences and stroll through signature shop. Thank you, each and other.
Thank you. Anybody have anything else? We need to add an item to the agenda.
Yes.
You want to go ahead and propose that?
Propose that we add this, town hall network infrastructure,
As I add to the agenda.
as an item to the.
One second.
Second, all those in favor? Aye. So modified. Now,
That would cover the technology of it.
there you go.
No ARC update?
Huh? No ARC update?
We have a wonderful outgoing member of the ARC committee, did amazing work over the last few years. Stephen, thank you for your work on the ARC. Looking forward to getting to know the new ARC committee. The amount of work that that committee handles is amazing. And so I'm only into my second new meeting after Mr. Opgard. I graciously agreed to hand that committee over.
Okay, let's do the consent agenda, which is quite long. It's a full page, basically. A motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make that motion.
Okay, Marco, second.
I'll second.
Charles. Comments? Concerns? All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Consent agenda. Now our first action item, which is a motion to approve joiner and consent to charter supplemental recreation parcels. Phase 2B of Island Village. Motion. Second. Second. Discussion?
Subjecting the new recreational parcel to the charter.
Okay. Any questions?
Choice.
You have to do it, but just anybody, okay, we're good. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? B, motion to approve swimming pool detail by Cadence Protective Services. This is guarding the pools.
This is that, two-person, adding additional people to monitor the pools. It was really successful last year. This is part of the budget this year.
I'll make a motion. Motion to approve, second. Second, Marco. All those in favor?
Oh, Jim, just wanted to make sure, this is the Mayberry of last year, we changed your name, same company.
I like Mayberry better.
I do too.
Well, and this is for less money than last year.
Yeah.
As well. We got the village pool, the open second one, right? Not good till December. Okay, so this is gonna get us coverage for Lakeside. What's the coverage, I guess, for the?
So this
Perfect
covers,
locations.
yeah, this covers all of our pools, 2 cars, they rotate, they split it and rotate between the pools and gyms and the basketball court.
Okay.
Basketball.
Okay,
This runs from Friday, May 15th to August 17th.
this is unrelated to playgrounds, right? They're not gonna do anything. This is just purely pool. They don't need this.
Last year, we asked them to, when we had some hot water issues, we asked them to stop in, but this is mainly for pool.
We staggered this from the, full property, patrol that happens during the summer 7 days a week. Stagger those hours so we provide a larger coverage.
All right, any other questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Now we're gonna do motion C, D, and E all together, motion for C, E. You wanted to do them all together, right?
So I'm gonna make a motion to. I gotta start this.
You can do motion to approve C, D, and E.
Motion for CD.
Second.
Second.
Discussion.
Okay, so I appreciate Brian bringing us the proactive five-year proposal. I think in light of this, it's $1 million per year. And my problem with this is when we look at all of our contracts across CROA, we put out small things like $10,000, $20,000 contracts. And this is our single largest contract. Personnel obviously is expensive, salaries are expensive, but this is our single largest expense. So I think this doesn't sit well with me to just outright renew it without putting it out to a competitive bid. I think it's a good idea for passing it together. I really think that makes sense. There's synergies and people truly. I think the optics of this is really not great if we just renew this without putting it out to a competitive bid. And that's not to say that, Exquisite can't and should participate in this. I think they should. They know Celebration, they know the landscaping. But I want to see what the market looks like. So I'm going to be, I know I made the motion for this. I'm actually going to be opposing it. I would like to see us go out to bid. To put the whole thing out there, so the passive parks are about to expire, right? Is that passive are about to expire? So what I would propose if the motion fails is extending the passive parks for 1 year. The active parks continue, right? That's still under our contract. And then we put everything out to RFP. That would be my recommendation. And I think, when we say we don't want to put things under RFP, we have to look back at the success of the Spring Park Playground, right? And some other things that we've done, really, really good procurements. So in my eyes, I think this is a great opportunity for us to see what's out there. I think it's a good opportunity for us also to see what we can do better in landscaping. Right? Because, 1 second. Yeah. 1 second. I'm on my soapbox. You can soapbox on you. I know, and this is just the last thing I'm gonna say. So I think we saw with the Spring Park Playground, we asked the vendors to come and optimize the space. They came in, they brought us their best proposals. I think this is a good opportunity for us to ask the market, what would you do better? Right? Are there things that we could look at doing differently? Could Exquisite do something differently? But I think it's good governance to do this. So that's just my 2 cents on it. And,
All I was gonna add is that we discussed this extensively at the workshop. And went through the proposals with a fine tooth comb and really looked at a lot of numbers. And so I just want to make that point. It wasn't something that we just entered into blankly. This was something that was well discussed at a workshop.
yeah, and to that end, this is important. Anyone who says that fiduciary responsibility hasn't been done, you're spot on, right? This has been done. You've looked at the proposals. That's your decision. You decide to move forward with this. So that's a non-starter, right? Overall, it's a good proposal, right? I mean, it's 5 years. It's reasonable. I think,
It locks in some very minor increases that we discovered.
Yeah.
I mean, below inflation, so.
No, 100% agree.
I'm gonna go ahead and call the question. We have a motion in a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 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 Okay, motion failed.
So do we need to call a new motion to formally? Or does that take care of it, basically, to put it up to RFP?
We haven't voted to put it back to RFP.
So now we need to make a subsequent motion to,
You need to figure out what you're doing with the passive part contract now.
okay, so what I'll do is I'll make a motion to propose or to execute a 1-year passive card extension. And then issue a subsequent full passive and active part RFP.
So since they wouldn't expire until,
And actually, I would say effective January 1 to get us through the rest of the budget cycle too. Is that,
So are you canceling the active part contract then?
well, the active was going out. Well, the active,
No, the active goes to 20.
so I think we put it all up. That's like, that would be my proposal. Put it
Because
all
the
up.
active goes till 2026.
Yes.
yeah,
I
if
think,
you're
I
gonna
think,
go for your extension on this, it will find, go up, so then.
I would like, I think we put both of them out.
whoever-
But if we roll out, yeah,
Both out.
I understand we're under contract, but I think there's an opportunity to synergize these and see if there are potential scaling savings.
I would say that we can, I think we could, since the passive expires, that we can, motion to extend. But I think we need more discussion about RFP. Because we didn't discuss RFP in the workshop at all.
No, right? And we have a big agenda, so
Oh, we don't have RFP on the agenda.
we have
We don't have RFP on the agenda.
a motion to terminate.
We have a motion to terminate, but that's different than an RFP. So we do not have a discussed motion that is placed on the agenda. And advance notice.
So do we need that if we're talking about terminating? So it's concurrent with,
Okay, the motions failed to terminate, correct? The motion failed to approve the joining. So therefore, we have no publicly noticed motion to,
so we did this with the playground though, where we had it on the agenda. We didn't have necessarily that we were going to go to RFP, and we did that at the same meeting. So
we had talked about it at a workshop about going to RFP.
we talked about it, but there was no, it's in the spirit of the motion. Because it's procuring a certain.
What do you guys think?
It's up to,
Your management.
yeah,
Yes, because the topic is on here for discussion, you can pivot the way you're motioning. I would just say, if you want to go out to RFP while you're also extending a contract, are you looking to RFP? I'm trying to understand.
Yeah.
Are you looking to RFP now? Or are you looking to RFP in January when you're closer to the end date of the contract?
Because we're a long way from this contract. So you're talking about a year RFP. The numbers won't be any good in 6 months. So 9 months.
so what about RFP the passive? Just locking them, so we have to get something right in place right now, right?
We can just extend the passive.
Extend the passive, but then also subsequently, don't take the 5 years, but put it.
No, well, that's done. We built 5 years.
Right, well, we take 1 year and then put the passive out to RFP in the same motion, so we extend the passive.
Then that's, it poses the same problem as.
Here's the simplest solution. Make a motion to extend the passive through April of 27. Okay, to match the other contract. Then come January, December, January, then we discuss an RFP, and a motion for an RFP.
Okay, so I will make that motion.
Okay, so the motion to extend, period.
And
And
then,
that's the part
and I think we should discuss that at a subsequent workshop.
Right. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So the motion now is to extend the passive part contract, not necessarily the active 1 year.
Yes.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. Now on to F, motion to approve software license and maintenance agreement with charge points. Those were charge, just for replacement.
No, these are the charges that were put in Item Village. They weren't charging us, but they were supposed to be, and they realized it. Now they're charging us.
Okay. So those are
So you got a couple of years of free.
free electricity, and these are for residents?
Yeah.
These are the ones with the,
They're basically level two charges.
they're level two chargers and they don't get charged, nobody gets charged for charging.
Yeah,
No,
they do
this
get
is
charged.
So we're paying and they're paying.
This is software licensing that you're paying for.
Yeah, okay. Motion? Motion. Second? Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion to approve basketball court closure on May 2nd for magical market event.
I make a motion.
Second, any discussion? Do we have to do this as a formal board action?
Yeah, you're probably,
Can we do that all the time through just day-to-day operations?
we don't shut down the usage fully.
This one's because it's not,
It's not a CROA event. It's a.
and it's not required as safety events.
All right. I like to listen to it like that. All right, but no, all right, let's run. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion to adopt universal consulting body charter. I will make a motion. Okay, second. So discussion.
Thoughts, this is for the code terms, right? Terminating the boards or terminating the committees.
No, this is our universal.
This is the
This is
universal.
like the other thing. Okay. I have a thought. I don't know what others think about this, but what would we think about putting something in about the chair being every other year in something like this? Because I think when we talk about succession planning, we talk about getting people comfortable with running meetings and just getting kind of overall building our bench strength. To me, I think that's something maybe where we can develop this out a little bit. And just have maybe every other year or a term limit, I know it's like, more other term limits, but. I think it's, yeah, well, you don't want to turn away volunteers. No, just term limit on chairs. Agreed, and we're saying the same thing. Yeah. So I don't know what others think about that. Just to get different people.
I guess I'm confused as a new guy with my reading the
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
So
We're taking an existing charter from.
all the committee charter, yeah, and this is the charter for all the committees. And modifying it to say, since we're modifying it right now, adding a modification to say basically that a person can only serve as chair for a limited period of time. They can't become the perma king of the committee or the perma reign. So I think what's, yeah, it's simply just something to help us be able to get different people into the seat, different perspectives, different people running the meetings, and just not having the same thing over and over, which I think diversifies it. Give us, some balance in bench strength. So that's just my thought on thoughts. Good.
While you're talking about appointing the chair, this still notes that the board is appointing chairs. We haven't done that the last few years.
We've gone back and forth. Each committee, some committees decide amongst themselves. I've seen the board, my preference is the board decides.
We did that in 2023, and then we let the committees decide. Yeah, we thought it was better for them to decide.
Question,
Yeah.
what if the person that you appoint doesn't desire to serve on the chair as the chair?
Then they can turn it down. Yeah. That's a good question.
Why not?
I like the idea of letting the committee decide, but I think that there should be something that keeps us from getting
So best effort to try and, like we said, the best effort, like, I don't know, just that something, there's just an effort to try and get different people into the position.
Jacob had a good point on this. Instead of it being a will, you just, a chair and vice chair can be appointed by the
And
board.
there you go. There, that gives us the option. Okay. And then you want to, what are you thinking? What are we thinking on a chair limit? Because every other year, it doesn't allow people to get any experience really, so.
Amen.
2-3 year term.
Question, speaking from experience, it took me a good year to understand what I was doing.
No, I agree with that. I think.
And it was discussed amongst the committee itself. It wasn't just one person said, okay, you're gonna be it. People, we discussed it. I can't speak for other committees, but at least for Parks and Rec, it was discussed.
I can speak with two committees that vote. So I don't know why the board wants to do it. Both the committees, master planning, finance.
But sometimes you get somebody who's got a very powerful personality and maintains that control.
There's two sides of it, right? There's continuity with having someone who's been in the chair, understands it, gets it, can run the meetings flawlessly, totally understood. And the flip side, if that person doesn't come back, right, then it takes time to get somebody to develop them, get them up to speed. That's not something that they can just pick up overnight. Now, could the vice chair, I think this is where I don't think we've done a good job having the vice chair, like we haven't done that consistently. If we enforce that, potentially so that every committee has to have a vice chair, then we potentially build that next up. That's where my head is mostly, just the.
So you just want that.
That's correct.
In the spirit of democracy, I think letting the committees choose their chair and vice chair is a good look and a good thing. And again, we don't normally appoint vice chairs, or they don't normally appoint vice chairs. I think that helps a little bit with the continuity discussion. I'm not a fan of term limits because institutional knowledge is valuable. And
Why don't you have something that just says the committees, we encourage the committees to appoint a chair, or that we can, and a committee can appoint a chair and a vice chair, so that there is somebody to run the meetings when.
yeah, so adopting the language of may be appointed by the board, not will, and encouraging vice
I would
chair.
encourage, yeah.
Yeah.
We've never had any list of chairs and committees other than that.
I think that solves everything.
Then it solves the problem.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Can we do that? All right. Any other changes?
Do we,
We're gonna go May and we're gonna go, vice.
I think that's the end of April.
I like that. This for. Yeah.
All those in favor of this now modified motion? Aye. Anybody opposed? The committee resolutions, it should adopt the whole kit and caboodle, as they say. So we smoke second. Discussion.
For discussion. There was some discussion by Ms. Lee Schultman on the impact. The question was on the resolution, if the resolution should include writing the sports court RFP, if it should include establishing the community center civil project timeline, establishing the community center building timeline for phase 2, and establishing a lakeside development plan. Mr. Avantgarde also mentioned that the resolution should include the shop, the maintenance shop. These are not currently captured in the
Resolution, like that's real, like.
That's like some very specific stuff.
I think that can be with them providing it to
They're
the
charged,
community verbally as.
and their charge is to work through the master plan, and that's all embedded within the master plan. So I don't know if we need the specificity, like, with that, that's their thing, and that's dictated by the board too, like what we want them to. So
Any other comment? How about all those in favor of approving them as is? Aye. Anybody opposed? Good. Motion to sunset dog park committee. Motion second. I'll second. Discussion.
So this is becoming effectively part of the recreation committee as well, parks and parks and rec. So when we say sunsetting the dog park committee, effectively what we're doing is we're creating pocket within the recreation committee that would be specializing in the dog park. That we focus on, we haven't really like fully defined that, I don't think, but that's the spirit of what we've been talking about, correct? So the dog park is not, like the focus on that is not going away. The committee and the associated management time meetings, be basically creating this as an efficiency to put it all under one. Am I missing anything on that? I do want to talk about the funds too, which and point of order, and so
No, you're good. You're in the discussion.
so where are the funds? Like what happened with
So
those?
the funds, when I started, the funds were all in operation. The CCC had kept them within the operating account. They were just tabulating it on the side.
Okay.
The funds have always sat in operating, and I know Jared did have significant discussions with the committee about the usage of them. Over the last 3 years, they've tried to find different ways to spend the money. Agility equipment, a dog wash station, shade, benches, other ideas, but nothing was ever approved by the committee.
So the funds are still there.
They're still not operating.
They recently used some of the funds for the same.
Is it 18,000? Is that the number? Another number? About that?
About that.
And is this the only committee that has a fund?
Yes, the tent committee at one point did have it, but it was not a big practice.
So as amenities here, we would not be in favor of
So Parks and Rec,
funds.
yeah, so Parks and Rec could through their own process say, we want a shade structure, the dog park, just like they say, we want a shade structure at East Village, or we want a shade structure wherever we are. And it'll come out of the pool of capital.
So do we need to codify that in the aforementioned resolutions that we just went through, that they have those funds earmarked? Because that's what I get a little bit worried
Well,
about.
they can spend money.
Well, where is that, I guess, memorialized, like once we're all done with the board and they decide not to use it, like, how do we know
So
where
you as
that's
the
sitting?
board voted in a prior meeting to, that if the funds weren't, or agreed in a prior meeting, that if funds weren't spent by the end of last year, they would absorb and operate. If there is a need to do something out of the dog park, to add something new, that would be a capital expenditure that rec committee would bring up, we would do the bids, we would bring it to the board for approval.
And it is replacing some of the gear reserves, right? Okay.
Irrigation repairs or
Yeah,
reserves or paid for the maintenance operating as well side replaced.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Now on to the 2026 committee advisory group appointments. We have our list here in front of us. And I guess we need to decide how we're going to proceed. We're going to proceed to the quorum level, which is what you see outlined in green.
Good second.
I gotta get a motion first.
I have a question. Out of the second.
We need to get a motion first.
How many seats are you gonna have on Parks and Recreation?
That's what we're deciding right now. That's what we're deciding right now. So anyway, we need a motion first to, approve, okay, that's the motion,
I make a motion to approve 2026 committee and advisory.
and a second.
I'll second.
All right, now let's talk about our decision as a board. As you can see on your sheets, we have highlighted in green, everybody met a quorum, which is more than 4 votes or more.
Everybody, we have to read the names.
Yes.
After we assign, after we assign. So is that what we're gonna go with? That will be the number of people the committee has, people who made it for.
So at a high level, we have coverage for every committee. We have some minimum.
We do have some on for every committee, and that's the way, that's the, it's an effective way.
Yep.
Okay, so that's decided now, so all those in favor then of approving the committee assignments of those marked in green that we will name. Signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed?
Need to check one thing.
Okay,
Working for Katie on this one. By the way, Lauren, good job. It was very easy to approve, very nice.
Yeah, that's.
Yes.
Yeah, very transparency. Good job. So thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, there was. Or she had a preference to keep it to 6 or 5
or what? On which committee?
on communication.
Her turn. Her turn.
There's 6 on there.
All right, so let's just get here. We would have.
Applications.
Take,
If you did it right, those numbers.
okay, well, is everybody okay with Katie's wanting the 5 on the committee instead of the 6? You're not?
I would support that, like, whatever the board wants to do.
For the committee has sat at 5 for the past 2 years that it has been essential.
There's a lot of experience with that one.
I think that's one of her issues.
Okay.
One.
Okay, we're gonna have to break them out, then, yeah, all right, we're gonna have to break them out.
You just break up that, maybe if you'd like.
Yeah, let's start, you just break out that one. Let's break communications out, let's vote on A, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I with the green people. All those in favor? Aye, opposed? Nobody, all right, now let's go to, and then what we'll do is let each chair read the new members. And then let's discuss communications committee. The motion is to approve all the greens as we originally had it. And so I guess that would be the first motion, with just any other discussion on that?
I would like to know if we have any problem with the wheelchair. If we have personal problem with the wheelchair with the 48 zone, it might be a problem.
We're just doing communication now, but they're all green. That's what I'm saying, the motion was originally to approve all the greens. So did we
You're in a motion to approve
approve all the greens, so that would be,
Discussion.
now we're in discussion, so the vote will be, do you approve all the greens or not, which would be the Katie vote not to. That makes sense? Yep. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so any other discussion around that? So now it comes down to all those in favor of approving all the greens. Aye. Okay, so all the committees carried. So now, Bill, would you like to read your committee?
Yes, for the Architectural Review Committee, Giselle Ford, Deborah Luker, Mike Prevost, Gary Shea, and James Welton.
Thanks to all of them for applying. You want, since you're being paid, would you like to announce the communications committee, please?
Mine is still on there.
No, it's all of them.
Giselle Ford. Gabrielle Luker.
No,
Communications.
Oh, that's me. Okay, sorry, okay. Mary Baker, Mary Baker, Scott Tempe, MD, William Fink, Fernando Braga, Doug Heckes, and Cindy Swisher.
And now you get to do covenants too. Yeah. Oh, you think do a lot.
Well, I would just say, what I think we're gonna do this time, we're gonna have someone representing the same person that's gonna have arts and covenants, which I think is really good. They're receptive to the idea, and it brings some synergy and some communication. Great to staff, which we may not have in the past.
Great.
So for covenants, it'll be Daniel Aiello, Sandy Justin, Stephanie Fink, Giselle Ford, who should be on Parks as well, Gary Hufford, and Leslie Runnels.
Thanks to all of you. Now you get some finance too.
Fine. Vote. Should these names? Joanna Abby Newman, Frank Nicola, Andrew. Yes, correct. Mike Jackson, and our own James Burnett.
All right, I'll do these next year. Cadence and Harrison, neither one of them here. Which is master plan, which is Joanna, Joe, who are currently on the committee, Robert LaFlamme, who's from used to be on Covenants, but now he's due to that. Mark Machuro, who's been on it, Jim, who's been on it, Alec, who's been on it, and Catherine Salinas, who's new. So that's an impact. And Marco, your Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec, I call Catherine Fayala. Fayala is the right side of it. Thank you. Stephanie Fink, Joe Furlong, Cindy McFarland, Michael Mora, and Kevin Lundstedt. This is for Parks and Rec.
Then we got the Security Camera Advisory Group, which is just 3 people. That's going to be Megan Adams, Sean Owens, and Tim Zomansky.
Sorry.
Special events, Marco.
Special events, Rebecca Anderson, Capture CPL again. Tim McFarlane, Michael Mora, Joe G. Pacello, and that's it.
And then Bill, this is Tech Committee, Andrew Cook, John Griesberg, Rick Moss, Tom Hall, and Peter Shredder. Thank you to everybody who applied. And for those who are going to be working on these committees and not getting paid like all of us. One point of order, sir, the board liaison of the security camera advisory group that we.
Has not selected one.
I
I think it would be natural.
Yeah, you be the man for. I would like to do it if the fellow board members. All right, now we're L already. Has to go on the first quarter metrics.
So as was noted in your packet in January, you are already going to be credited for the mismetric on the covenant inspection matter. And you'll see that in your May very.
Motion,
Make a motion.
motion Marco, second. Don. Any other discussion? We usually print it, we're doing the pass, is that what we're doing? We're just gonna pass it. Okay, yeah, okay. All right, so let's go through. Special answer?
Yeah.
Don, pass it. Pass. Marco. Pass. Bills. Pass. Pass. Thank you so much. Now, and the town hall network, that's the new paper.
Thank you for the transparency on that.
Yeah,
That was the point of having these. So that.
yeah, it's great. So if they do fail on something, we get something back, and it's been a very, very effective system. Now to the town hall infrastructure, we have a recommendation from the technology committee for $9,700. Is that correct? That is the recommendation of the tech committee. The management engaged the tech committee to discuss the network infrastructure for 851. A number of conversations were had with management, and the tech committee recommended a parallel operation scenario so that the Seminole building and the staff can still stay operational while the 851 building is brought online with internet, cameras, and Wi-Fi. So the idea there is that everything's in place so that there's seamless service in both locations during the transfer from moving out of Seminole into 851.
And the difference between the relocating and the duplication is just $3,500, $3,400.
And there is one additional thing. Andrew Cook of Liberty Partners is donating $5,000 towards this project to CROA to help with the network equipment expense.
Does that bring our net down, or
Bring that down to 4,700.
4,700, so less?
Out of CROA's pocket, yes.
Wow, that's a deal.
That is an amazing, generous offer, and
All right, so
a future point.
I think we need a motion to approve the scenario in which we will get the equipment for both places, both will be functional for less money.
Motion.
I'll second. Second, anybody want to discuss that? All those in favor? Aye, opposed, yeah. Take the money and just run. All right, now we're to M, N, and O, which are applicants to approve council recommendation collection requests that pro fee waivers from the non-compliance list.
Like the motion of group M and O.
And O, second, all those in favor? Aye. Nobody opposed, motion would, no, discussion items, sorry. Motion to adjourn. CJC cost sharing, this is the one, this is the guy.
Yeah, I'll try to get through this quick. So Canoa has come, and this is all, we're okay to disclose this, right? Okay, so Canoa has approached, I guess that I was, no, Bill and I sit on CJC, along with Eric, who's not here. We've been talking about a cost sharing arrangement, which, again, just to refresh memory, CJC is our what the Canoa board, it's a services procured management, communications, and everything else. Watertown, celebration for it. So we got the cost sharing agreement in place where CROA has had an arrangement with Canova. Canova basically ships in X amount and they receive the provision services. What we've been discussing with them, and this was with aligned with all of us as a board, there's been obviously a contentious relationship around the academic procurement services. So he approached the board and basically said that we would agree to the majority of the reduction in income. And you can then take those funds that you have been putting into CJC and go procure your own management company, or whether it's marketing, whether it's whatever that may be. So,
Man, I guess one of the reasons for this relationship issue is no, it's because there's a disagreement over that they think they're not getting enough for their money and we think they're getting a lot more for their money. So different numbers for different folks. So we're agreeing to just let it go.
yeah, and I think this is going to be, it's 3%, right? I mean, 2%. Okay. So there is budget increase to CROA as a result of this, right? We can't miss words. There is going to be some cost developers. It's hard to understand this maybe if you're not necessarily here seeing how the sausage gets made. But now you all can focus on really CROA, I would say.
They don't have to do any more.
So there is time savings. So there's
As long as management holds to that, I mean, that's really correct. We can't waffle and like start coming in and you gotta stand your ground.
yeah,
So just so everybody's aware, we will still be providing
minimum.
limited
Minimum.
management services
Yep.
to Canova, but it will be only the amount contractually laid out. And it's very specific in the contract in the exhibit A, I would say.
Yep.
So it will limit our time.
So again, then that's whether it's Jacob's role, Lauren's role, communications obviously is a big one. So we're going to be able to cover that time.
So, and the reality is the 2% hit is probably gonna be far less than that with all the time that is not accounted for.
Yeah, and I think the way to think about this too is when you've got an executive director, manager, general manager now putting their time back into CROA to enhance our special events, to enhance our communications, do all of that. I think it's a win for us. What they've agreed to do as well is we're obviously in the cost sharing arrangement right now. They originally wanted a credit to the 5 months because they didn't believe they were receiving their perceived value. They have abandoned that request and they are just going to keep that as a sunk cost. The rest of the year that we've agreed to, it was saying sunk cost. That's their version of it on sunk cost, yeah. The Canoa portion is going to continue to be paid for the rest of the year.
The rest of the year.
So the rest of the year, and then the goal is to terminate the cost sharing arrangement immediately. Basically, so that they can then begin doing their thing, looking for services. And so they've approached us basically with the following concessions. I'm trying to just read these real quick. Number one, making the communications manager responsible is to Canoa for the cost sharing agreement immediately rather than wait until January 1, 2027. Transition to quarterly Canoa meetings instead of monthly. So that's the CJC meetings.
Or just there, how often are you at CJC?
As frequently as we did.
Yeah, no set.
And we are not dissolving the CJ.
We're not dissolving CJC. So monthly rather than wait, so quarterly instead of monthly, now rather than wait until January 1, this is celebration to continue to be monthly with market social media managers, but that will not require management staff's attendance. Weekly reporting discontinued, effectively immediately from the Canoa board, rather than waiting until January 1, 2027. I do want to add to this that CJC, however, is going to start getting reporting, which we did not yet. So that's going to hopefully kind of keep us connected as two boards through that process. Parks and Rec staff can discontinue any event planning procedure beyond the Catholic Canoa, and they do not need to pursue previously discussed events, water tower anniversary, chef events, and other discussed events. However, if there is an event that would benefit by mutual participation between the boards or collaboration, all other management and staff responsibilities go unchanged and will also management contract. Parks and Rec staff will continue to post signs and post the roads weekly for the farmers market through December 31st, 2026. The last thing that's come up on this is for the Canoa events. The Canoa events, we will continue, to provide staff to, whether it's to close the event, open it up, just basically the basic,
You got capacity
for the remainder of the year. Yep, just,
for the remainder of the year.
yep, just for the remainder of the year. And then going into 2027, they will be able to buy that at the resident rate of $150 an hour. That's it. That's all she wrote. They'll be able to pay us for the services.
Isn't there a July 4th thing?
Can we say that? Are we not?
What the fish launch can go for.
Here. You want to try not to?
Canoa has agreed. Originally, they have agreed to sponsor July 4th in amount of $25,000.
No.
They increased it when they found out that we were coming in a little bit low on our sponsorship. That's so.
So we need to do as a board is at the workshop, we need to formally take good action. Right, we don't do that till formally, whatever we're gonna be. Ideally at the May workshop. We can do it as an action item. Okay, that's it. Did I miss anything or did I misinterpret? Okay, great. How about the design guidelines?
That's, I asked for a workshop.
Oh, you wanted it at the workshop?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll put that on the workshop.
Let's,
Design guidelines for the workshop, town hall monument, marquee, digital signage.
I don't, this is me.
Do you want to electronic for sign?
This is an initiative that's existed for a long time. I know the tech committee's talked about it before we even started, and then it came up again with the comms committee. We've finally gotten around to the point where we have a proposed sign, that will be put to Art was looking for board.
Jacob, can you pull that up? As a representation.
Because Disney previously would not allow any of those, so is that, have we changed our guidelines to allow them?
So there's a whole write up in your packet. I'm gonna put it.
I don't read all your writings.
I suppose. Okay, so there's a couple of different things that we had to look at to see if this is even something that fits within the design guidelines. So governance of town hall and its aesthetics and alterations was governed by a separate declaration of covenants and conditions executed by the Celebration Company in November 14 of 2005. Section 4.5 discusses the oversight termination date, which was effective November of 2020.
Oh, it terminated.
It terminated.
It was a 15-year term.
Ah.
So now, and that document specifies that oversight and approval authority previously reserved by Celebration Company is deeded over to CROA's Architectural Review Committee.
Okay.
So ARC has the authority to review this request and approve or deny. There's an additional thing since Canoa's technical, or since Town Hall is a commercial building, we fall under the sign guidelines as approved not only by TCC, but Osceola County as well. So that outlines guidelines for monument signs and marquees. So the sign in front of Town Hall is both a monument and a marquee. We had to look at those restrictions. Long story short, the proposed sign falls within both of the restrictions in that document. And to be clear, there was some confusion up front because one of the images in the ARC packet was a fully technicolor sign. That is not the proposal.
So we're not talking about a flashing sign with.
We're talking about-
It's not 192.
It's a
Black and white.
static image, black and white, basically a digital version of what you see on the marquee now.
From the street, it looks like any others.
And it will turn off every night at 10 p.m.
The tech committee took this up back in October, and these were directly, we reached out to the vendor that provides the signs on World Drive for Disney, same company. And it is, the goal here is to keep it just black and white. It has the option of color, but we don't think that should be allowed. We need guidelines that the board would approve to specify what can and can't be.
So it's a college screen, we're just gonna keep it black.
All of it's color LEDs, but it's going to stay black.
So the recommended proposal to go back to art is this with the restrictions of it must be only black and white, it must be a static image, and it will turn off every day at 10.
So what's gonna happen then is that's just gonna go to ARC before it becomes an action item for us, or a discussion item for the workshop.
Yes. The confusion in the last ARC meeting was that did ARC have the authority to do that? Stephen suggested that we kick this decision up to the board, but after going through everything,
Can it be retrofitted into the existing monument sign?
yes,
So there's no change to the monument.
Right.
Okay.
the electricity is already there.
Yeah, and it's lit.
And I believe that they ran conduit to it as well, so we can send the data to the side.
How much time savings is this on staff? Like how much?
It's a fair.
Like, it's a pain to reverse.
You just,
I'm curious, like, couple hours to change all that signage?
Yeah, I'd say about 8 hours a week. If you average 2 hours a week.
And there's an immediacy too. If something changes, we need to get the message out.
For sure. And you think about it too, with like hurricanes or other things, you know, there's a lot of things that I think, this goes way back to, I remember with the communications advisory group. Didn't they? I mean, we're back further than you remember.
yeah.
Yeah.
When Patrick was still here and I first started, Patrick was talking to me about it and he had been talking to me.
Yeah, so it's like this, and the school also is doing something similar, just told them, no. Yeah. So just do that stuff, right? We good with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, did you have an update?
Yes. So on top of the update you have inside your board packets. Just some quick facts. In the month of March, we assisted almost just under 3,000 residents in person at the resident service office located at Lakeside Park. With that, there was 123 digital ID interactions taking place. Overall, and we had over 1,700 email respondents through Sierra Mail, 1,500 phone calls. All of those metrics are always reported inside the board packet. We decided to just promote those. That's some of the ongoing operations within just one department that are continuously going. Some very exciting news is that Celebration Town Hall has been awarded a Gold Stevie Award. We were informed today in the 24th Annual American Business Awards for the father-daughter dance this year in the entertainment event category. With that, there's a larger comprehensive update on most of our departments inside the packet. Outside of that, if the board has any questions for Manny.
Question.
How's the lead working out?
Working very good all week. We're getting compliments from the team. That is another one. The internal tickets are continuing to increase with hundreds and hundreds of internal tickets being completed by our maintenance department. We're seeing large beautification projects that are mainly refurbishment, paint, and cleaning being able to be accomplished with those vehicles as well. We're arranging to have the NEVs are being arranged to be returned to Town Hall in the coming weeks to be located on Lot B. We're already working on the website page where we're going to be posting those and doing a bid form for the purchase of those. And we're going to be adding them on one of your upcoming workshops for further discussion and pricing out initial pricing for those NEVs.
The other question? One question for management. Can we get an update on the total number of digital IDs sold so far? Because we initially purchased 1,000.
There were 279 left.
Okay.
Last time I checked.
So we sold 123 in March. Nice progress.
I think we had a communication message out, right?
Yeah,
I think that push helped.
I will say that 123 is assistance with them, so some of it could have been a phone change. It's not all direct sale, but it is, we did a high number of those sales. And it is something that we were just this week discussing, pulling that number and bringing that up for our future evaluation of adding
Because we need to
digital
purchase
credentials.
tranche of
So maybe we should push out another communications.
They're moving. Right now, our next step is to look at how close are we to selling out of the amount of license we have. And then if that's the case, then that'll be coming to the board saying, hey, we're running out here. We are recommending or asking.
That's probably when we get down to 100, so.
We're
Yeah.
getting
We're
that.
getting it.
So we're down about, a little less than 300.
Yeah, the last time I checked was a couple weeks ago, so.
I don't know, we'll just.
Island Village, sorry.
Yeah. Any other questions for me?
How's the 851 sponsorship going?
No change since the.
We sold it.
Yeah,
So I disagree with what before, and we discussed this at the workshop. Like a version 2 of this, because I think we're just embarrassing ourselves. I agree.
Would you like to pause to the June workshop or July where you're potentially going to be in? There's, opportunity that you may be in the building, so you can discuss it while you're there and see how you can optimize. Because we did pause it knowing that we would,
Switch.
more once the
It's not
building is
fair.
open and.
And so leave it out there. I think we're just embarrassing ourselves and pricing people out right now. How many people look at it? Do we have a vision?
I could get, we can get numbers for you.
I love it. I mean, well, but, I can tell you like 10, 15 people. I think we're embarrassing ourselves and we'll keep it out there because we.
Where are we keeping on?
It's a website, there's a page on the website with the,
We get metrics on that, we could see, but.
Yeah, what I think we can do is, we have a plan, maybe you do have a plan. Have a VIP cocktail hour or invite some people that are partners. And maybe other people in the community to get them, to thank them for their help this past year, but also to educate them, show them, but make sure it's in the building prior to the ribbon cutting, prior to opening to the general public. So they get a first-hand look and a launch factor and give yes, then.
So I agree with that. Do we said you want to give up June workshop? Maybe?
Well, I just, again, it's hard to imagine where we might take this thing, with.
So-
I just don't think we're gonna get a lot of the big
if
bucks.
you're on the website, you have to go to home, to a town hall, and then it's not even.
I spent some time digging to do it, and I realized like we talked about it, but actually probably enough service areas are going really well. I definitely do a little bit more, I think. It needs another look. Yeah, it's
Maybe more than a look.
We can do some strategies, we can do like an option,
yeah,
do
you think? Maybe.
Well, you can't bring the building then.
Do you wanna maybe take it offline if you and maybe another board member could talk about how to modify it and with ways to.
I'm raising my hand for that. I would not be able to take it down and rethink it. So we take it down and rethink it. Downtown and I,
Yes, and then
I thought it was
I have some sort of an idea about June.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good then. Consensus? Consensus.
But I also want to tie that in with the ribbon cutting and.
Okay, everyone. Okay, you can be there with the big scissors and everything. You have to be there with the big scissors.
When's the official ribbon cut? You don't know.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the official ribbon cut?
Before the 21st. Should be on the.
I don't know when I'm.
Yeah, your wife says 21st to the 27th.
Oh, that's right, we have a room at bureau, I forgot, she did book that then, okay. I don't think this.
I've got some.
Motion to adjourn? So, second, we're adjourned, thank you all.
Oh, 1 second. Make sure you collect these, don't leave them lying out.
Yeah.